Hey there, J Chains. Can you hear me, brother?
Oh man, that was muted. There, you could probably hear me now. Okay. Adios mío.
Yeah, all good now, brother. All good now.
Oh man, that's funny. So it was twice. This thing's like it's like automatically muting on me. That's interesting. We'll have to figure that out there. So something to just pay attention to. But I appreciate you guys. Y'all were throwing it up in the chat. I didn't even have the chat open. So you guys were just sitting there watching me. Unless you're a lip reader, which I can to some extent lip read, but not very well. And so, holy shit. All right. Well, GM, good morning, guys. Thank you for joining. Thanks for watching me talk for 4.5 minutes, or at least 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, something like that. But y'all are the real heroes. Thank you. And if you're just tuning in, welcome to the show, guys. My name is J Chains. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure if you are watching on X, you hit the heart. We should be good to go now, audio wise. Thank you all to all the chat. Okay, so what I was saying was our metal situation is going to start being a little differently, because now instead of the show was at 4 p.m., but how I've condensed and kind of changed the day structure a little bit here. This was taking this time frame, 11 a.m. is taking the place of what I was doing at 4 p.m. So this is, instead of kind of an end of the day look at crypto and looking at the headlines, the news and numbers, we're looking at this from a midday perspective of where were we in the morning. Did we talk about anything in the morning that needs to be like readdressed this afternoon here? We'll look at the headlines, much like we did before. We'll look at the broad like the overview of the market, right? You will look at our fear and greed. We'll look at our shrimping index, all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into a couple headlines and then charts. We'll see if there's any trades that we need to get into. So I told you guys this morning on the Web3 Breakfast Show, actually smashed a trade, an ONDO trade. So I put a little bit bigger of a position in there. So it's just, we're testing the VWAP theory. Thank you to Flopping Groper and the leapfrog indicator that he's got. This thing is like a magnet, right? So we're testing it. And so for this first week, I was really kind of just baby testing it, right? But we made some pretty good gains on it, really just chasing the daily, right? You always see the VWAP kind of get a little bit away from the daily, and I like to catch it in a long. I know that you can short it down to it, but in case this thing decides to change its mind and run, the upside is always much greater. So I'll long when we're in a bull market, which we still are. Anyway, so I've been playing a little bit with it on the leaps, but so last night I put in a larger order, but I scaled down the leverage to 5x, and so I hit a 20%er, but it netted me like a G, right? And so that was good to wake up to with the market. So the markets, I believe, we're performing a little bit better this morning than we are right now. We might be in a little bit of a midday slump, as we sometimes tend to be. Institution guys want to take a little break, man. We go to lunch. Give me some sandwich money, because it's only 11. So I know the markets, like the TradFi markets, open at 9:30, and we usually see a little activity. You do know that, a little activity now. I would say, and this is something we did address this morning, Doug. I know you guys were there. Again, we got the space open. So now moving forward, during like this normal live show, my live show, if there's something that you guys want to say or participate, and you are still on the stage from the space, like, you're more than welcome to chip in. So I think that's important. We can arrange that, and there will be days where we shut the space down or the stage down, and then only add people if we're doing like a panel or discussion or an AMA, something like that. But if you guys are up here and it's open, man, and there's something you want to add to it, please by all means do that. So that being said, sip of water time, guys. Make sure you smash that like button if you are watching on YouTube. Hit the heart. Let's look and see what's the makeup here. Yeah, most people on X. Make sure you guys hit that heart over on X. All right, so I want to make sure that we get into the market. So one thing I have been loving doing lately, and it's a good indicator of what's pumping. And you get like, and you can hit like who's pumping all that stuff, but these bubbles are fun to look at, right? And obviously Pengu crushing at 17, virtual 15. Love to see that, by the way. I know we got a couple community members in the virtual token there, so that's been nice to see that thing come back as of recently. But then a couple other ones, again, XMR still pumping, potentially on that news of the like big Bitcoin heist, like $330 million set over to XMR getting cashed out or whatever. We'll have to figure out when we go over the story what ZachXBT says there for sure. So let's move to the markets. Here we go. So we are up today, says 0.61%. So nothing to write home about. Our market cap is 2.97. So we are just, we're smooching up on 3 trillion, man. We got to go up over that. I was saying this morning, I feel like, no matter what we do, no matter what kind of pumpage we get, we always just give it right back. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, we cannot just seem to sustain any pumps that we're getting. And so one thing we want to do is make sure we take that next leg up. Like we were at 94. People were like, let's get to 90. We were at 95, excuse me. Where did Bitcoin top out at recently? That's dominance. Let me pull up the Bitcoin chart for you guys. Share this here. So we got up to 95.7, and like I know a lot of us wanted it to keep going up. We all do. Like, are we looking at like staring at a bullish flag here? We'll have to when we get a little bit later into the show, we'll take a look at that. But I do like those flag patterns, and yeah, I think maybe we need to be going down slightly because then it like shops up a little bit higher. But all right, let's get over back to the market really quick, because one thing I know we love doing, this is my favorite. This is our shrimping. We go to the Altcoin Season Index here on CoinMarketCap, and then we scroll down. Right. So here's the Altcoin Season Index chart. We're at an 18 right now. We were as low as like 14 or 15 last week, I think. So improvement on this is pretty good. I love to see that. I love to see improvement on our Altcoin Season Index. And we look at the charts later. We're going to look at two of my favorite. We're going to look at a Bitcoin dominance chart, and we're going to look at the others chart. That's the key indicators that will show us when altcoin season is happening. We need those to flip direction, both of them in a big way right now. We might see the others chart, which is all the altcoins minus the top 10. We might see that going up, but we really need to see that thing pop while dominance drips. And that we could still see the Bitcoin price go up. Don't get me wrong on this, guys, right? Okay, Bitcoin price can still go up while the dominance goes down. That's what we need. Okay, so this is where we do our shrimping. We do a lot of good work shrimping. Let's shrimping profile. Let's take a look real quick. We are down a little bit. So we're down $6.81 today. We're at $7.63. We were up a little bit higher at the end of the week last week. I understand. But we're at $7.63 overall. So what we did is we put in $500 on April 7th, right? $500. We put in $100 of 5 tokens from the bottom of this list. This is the top 100 coins and their performance over the last 90 days, right? Bitcoin gets a nice little time in the sun here with its own orange line. We use this as our key metric. Like, well, how does everything stack up against Bitcoin, right? It makes a whole lot of sense. Usually nothing worth a shit is above it. Sometimes there's some things or whatever, but usually nothing. What we like this for, look, you got SWI above it. It's outperforming Bitcoin. SWI is right now. But what we like to do again is shrimping. We go to the bottom. We're bottom feeders, like shrimping. Like we're shrimping boats. Call a shrimping crew. And you kind of look at all right, where are we at here? We see a lot in the 40s. Just a couple in the 50s, a couple in the 60s, and one in the 70s. Whew, okay, let's see what we have here. Move. I'm not really into it, but now, however, we could take a look at the chart and see maybe this is a move to get into. All right, but so that's the whole idea of the shrimping. But what we did when we entered this on April 7th was render, fetch, the graph, pith, and Jasmy. Right. And you got Jasmy and Fetch are outperforming everything by a long shot. You got Fetch doing 83%, Jasmy doing 74% almost, Render doing 47%. And then our two slow to the party movers, man, the Graph and Pith. Graph at 130 and Pith at 129.20. So they're like neck and neck at underperforming. I wouldn't hate getting rid of them. I mean, we're still in the profit, right? Not by much, but we're still in the profit. I could get rid of them and potentially get into 2 other coins that we could see. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get out of those, but we can, no, we're going to take them out of the portfolio. I wouldn't say we want to keep track of them. But what we'll do is over the next 24 hours, I'm going to swap 2 of these out. And right now, looking at this list, because I would like to stay like in the 50, 60s or the 70, but some of these may get a better short-term gain. Like, would you want, because you always see pie and move at like the top of the chart. Now, again, I wanted to look at move like maybe its time is over and it's just doing like a shit show. No, it's still, I mean, the last month has been no good, but this could be the time to get it and watch this thing go to like 40 cents or something. No, that's unrealistic. But this is the last 7 days. Maybe we would want to get some of this. It's on a move down. It's called movement and move. Maybe wait over the next little bit. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on this. If we can get this thing in the 22 cent, like high 22s, we'll pull the trigger on that, and we'll get out of either the graph or pith. And so we're going to add movement, I believe, to our shrimp in portfolio. And then what else? What else would we want there? I don't know. I'll take a look. We may have to go up and just maybe catch something that's on its way back up, because a lot of these were a lot farther. Like ICP was way down there. Maybe it's time to throw a little bit of that. Maybe some Doge. What does Doge chart look like? Let's look at the last 7 days. Pretty steady. Could be gearing for a move up. We were down, steady, really nothing up. We could be moving for a leg up here. So maybe that's what I'll do. I think as of right now, I want to swap out graph and pith, and I want to add Doge and movement. I think that's what I'm going to do on our shrimp in portfolio. So hopefully by tomorrow, we'll have all those moves made. Shout out to the chat. Let's go. Ty, we'll take a look at the chart later on. Just got into virtuals yesterday. Doug, let's get it. You're not behind, man. Me and some of the guys in the community got in that shit like when it was like $2. Let's see. Done with the graph. Even though AJ felt good about holding it, I'm not comfortable with the token. I mean, it's just not performing. It's going to perform, but I just feel like it's like one of those maybe next cycle. It's just not. It's not the right time for it, and I could be wrong on that, but we'll see. More heart. Pith heads for life. We're all pith heads for life, and we'll pick it back up again. I think it could be a mistake of letting just a handful of pith go. This was a example. This is just like a small portfolio, right? But letting it go now at maybe a historic low at 15.5 cents for something that in the long run maybe not pump as much. Maybe that's a mistake we're making, but you're either a zero or a hero, man. Scared money don't make no money. We've got this is, I have my risk adversity in other aspects in a much larger positions in my portfolio. Like this, I leverage trade more than this consistently. So let's have fun with it. Smash the like button if you like having fun in crypto, baby. Woo, burst of energy. All right. So back to where we were. Here we are. So looking at the market, where are things? So again, I think we were a little bit higher earlier today. We do know that, probably pushing on 96, but down to 94, getting ready to go back into the 93s. The high 93s, Ethereum, but still up almost 7% on the week. Bitcoin is. Ethereum 1774. What a year. Up almost 10% on the week. You got XRP 227 up 7.25%. I would like to see XRP really make a move up. Like, come on, like 325. Let's make it happen. Let's push the all-time high. I think that would be great. Let's look at it. I know we did recently, and those boxes are stupid. There it is. So let's make a new one. Let's go 350. Come on, 350. I'm into it. All right. Solana 146. It is up 6% in the week almost. And then you got Doge at number 8 up to 17%, some almost 10% in the week. Good to see. Cardano number 9. Man, this thing is hanging tight with number 9. It will not let that go. It is going to fight pretty soon, though, with Dogecoin for number 8 if it keeps gaining or if Dogecoins keeps slipping. Just about $2 billion apart. That was another observation I was making earlier, actually. If you look at it's definitely widened a little bit now, but the gap between Tether and XRP was a lot closer, looking like XRP was pushing number 3 there, which would be, it's going to happen. I think this year, we're going to see XRP flip Ethereum unless something crazy happens. However, we were talking this morning, what about the Eric Trump Jr. or the Eric Trump tweet about, this might be the time to buy Ethereum. Thank me later. Just so he's got the credibility. So let's look at our gainers on the day. Deep Book Protocol. That was one we were looking at. Let's look at this because I have not heard anything about this project and I should probably take a look at it with you guys. So Deep Book Protocol, it's got a $684 million market cap. 10 billion supply, 3.05 are circulating. So you got 30% out, 30.58%. SWI. Okay. It's on SWI. The backbone of SWI DeFi liquidity, setting the bar, liquidity and trading in DeFi and making sure it's pretty damn high. Okay. I like that. 8.7 billion in volume, 10 million users. 17 million, 24 volume. So Deep is burnt from trading fees. All right. So it's deflationary. We know SWI is going to have a big bull run. That is for sure. Shiny object is SWI. And as it turns out, over the course of the last several weeks, and she came to the pizza party. She was at the talk that I did about VeChain. She's integrated into the Atlanta Blockchain Center, but she is like the SWI ambassador for Atlanta. And so we're going to be doing a lot of collaborating, and I'm going to try to get deep into the trenches there and see what's going on because I feel like that's a big one. Do we think SWI will kick the gaming narrative into play? Yeah, into play chat. Interesting. I would think that there is probably a high likely chance that if you are developing on SWI and depending on, what you're trying to do, maybe SocialFi is where that lives because you've got a handheld device. That may be something that SWI will be able to stand out above what other chains are doing because they have a handheld device. And from there, yeah, you can integrate chat, messaging, so the communication aspect. Now, do you put, I don't say waste. I'm sorry that I said that. Do you put that on chain? Do you put all those messages on chain? That's interesting. Let's think about that. We can talk about that tomorrow morning if you guys want at Web3 breakfast. Let's do that. Or we can save it for Web3 gaming. Now, I know we're talking about Yuga and Other Side on Wednesday, but there'll be times throughout the day that we can, add in this conversation and have it specifically. So let's set that up. I think that'd be great. And especially knowing that, we've got someone locally here that knows and will be, again, an ambassador for the SWI here, and kind of like, who is our local ambassador here. We'll have an understanding. We'll have some knowledge, maybe some inside knowledge. Hopefully we'll get some information, some scoops. And I'm hoping, I've been joking with her about getting our hands on one of those SWI Play ones. So maybe at one of the meetups, we'll get a chance to do that. All right. Smash that like button. I see a message in the chat from Doug, and $10 by Christmas. I know you're talking about XRP, guys. XRP is going to be over $10 by Christmas, because not only do I have a bet, but it is, man, what somebody had said one time when AJ and I were doing the collaboration in his apartment before he moved, and I understand that there's the multiplier, but tokenomics, market cap doesn't matter, is what he said. And in market cap, there are the multiplier, and I've heard a lot of people talk about the multiplier that is XRP. So, and its abilities to do what it's going to do. Again, it's positioned itself pretty well throughout the whole world as far as integration goes. So, morning Chains Rookie here. Sent Theta to my Ethereum address in Coinbase wallet, which doesn't support Theta. Any way to get that back, Mike? If they do not support it, I don't believe so, unless there is some kind of rejection mechanism that sends it back. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I don't. Coinbase wallet is the self-custody one. Maybe you can try to reach out to the support if they have that. I'm not actually sure. But apologies, man. Not apologies, but sorry that happened. It's one of those things. Where hopefully it wasn't expensive of a lesson, but that we have. Those are lessons. Those are our other learning lessons. That's the cost of the education sometimes. And it's a mistake like that. That will cause you not to do that again, or to think about it. Even now, after all these years. It's funny, I was telling somebody I was sending some Bitcoin to the Cash App to cash out, to send money to my bank, and I had sent myself a test transaction, and then I had gone back in to send the full amount after the test transaction went through. And this was a couple months ago, and I had, or weeks, whatever it was, and it had basically updated the address, the deposit address. And I was like, oh no, what do I do here? Because now it's a whole new address. Like that's wild. So I thought to myself, do I send another test transaction to the old address, or do I just send the full amount to this new address? And as it turns out, I sent another test transaction to the old address, and it worked. And so then I sent the full amount to the old address. But like, even now, man, that shit'll freak you out. So it's one of those things. You double, triple, whatever your strategy is, to make sure that you do it right. Because once you don't do it right, you find a way to do it right. And so if unfortunately this was your learning lesson, Mike, unfortunately I did that. I sent a shitload of tokens early on to a contract address, not to a wallet. Now, that was my lesson, to double check what I'm doing. Everybody has it. Everybody has one of those kind of things. Dougie Doug says, I believe we have all done it once, sadly. 100%. We have all, unfortunately, made that mistake. If you've been in this game for a while, some way, shape, or form, sending the tokens to the wrong address, or doing something. Send it to the wrong chain, like sending whatever, however it works. So, man, that sucks. But hopefully, let's go. All right. Back to coin market cap here. What do we got? We are now at 93.8, 93.794, dropping like a rock. Is that just Bitcoin? Let's see what's dropping the most. In the last hour, you got BitTensor, Curve, Celestia, Deepbook Protocol. It was one we were just looking at. Fartcoin, that was a conversation that we were having today. Is that a stain? Is Fartcoin a stain on the ecosystem? You guys can chat this up in the chat. Is Fartcoin a stain on the ecosystem, or is it a net positive? What do you think? I think it's definitely, you can use it as a tool, as an advantage. You can use it to make money. But in my opinion, overall, it's a net negative for the ecosystem that $1.1 billion market cap coin Fartcoin is sitting at number 64, inside the top 100, inside the top 70, inside the top 65, inside the top 64. 111. $1.11. What does this thing look like all time? Sheesh. You can get yourself, man, you get yourself a double up. Hit you a double, baby. Get you a double. Just getting back to all-time high, which you know these degens will push it, man. You can get yourself a double at 111 up to 233. What does it say here for all time? 261. Okay. Get your money. Double up. Do what you got to do. Any losers on the week we want to potentially add to the port? Dexy, Pi, Hyperliquid, Gate, Tether Gold, Pax Gold, BitGet. Nope. Render, we have in our shrimping portfolio, man. But I'll tell you what, it's only down less than 1% in the last week. So that's good. Man, we got to be thinking about that. I thought it was doing pretty good in our shrimping portfolio. I think it had a nice little pump and then dropped. It went up to 153. It's at 146. So, all right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that shrimp. And remember, we're going to make those 2 adjustments. We're going to add Doge and movement over the next 24 hours to our shrimping portfolio. And again, if you don't know what shrimping is, if you are new to the show, make sure you smash the like button first and foremost. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channels. But also shrimping, what we do to go shrimping is we go to CoinMarketCap and we go to the Altcoin Index. This is your Altcoin Season Index. And then down below, we just look at the bottom of the top 100 and their performance over the last 90 days. So that's shrimping, man. That's a little lesson there. It's been pretty well. I tell you what, there's some other people in our community that have talked about employing some of that strategy into their crypto stuff, and it is working out for them. So we like to call that shrimping, man. Sometimes you just get the boats out, grab the nets, do a little shrimping, see what happens. That's why we're picking good name projects that we know that are struggle bussing right now, and we know they're going to make a comeback. We added Jasmy. We know Jasmy's going to have a big run. $1.71, $171. So we've made 71% on that. At 81% on the fetch. That actually performed better than I thought it was going to, be honest with you, but I'm glad we added that one. And there's probably some others that we missed by adding the graph and pith for sure, but it is what it is, man. Get your shrimping boats, get your nets, baby. Okay, so everybody says this is going to be the biggest bull run ever. Makes me think it's going to be the worst one ever, as much as you don't want to say it. So again, I feel like there is a strong potential for us to really break away from kind of this whole idea of the 4-year cycle for most coins and most projects and go on that epic bull run of all bull runs. And even if it takes several years to accomplish it, it does that, right? I mean, I've talked about this now a lot. I'm sure if you guys are, if you come to the morning show, if you've been to the afternoon show, like you know that I talk about, like, the US went on a 12-year run from 1988 until 2000, right? And it went on a bull run for 12 years. Well, crypto, and we talked about this morning, like the adoption curve of it, right, could send us definitely like boom skis, straight vert for a decade or more. It's just, you never know how and what's going to happen. Like, think about fucking Beanie Babies. Like, what did that do? Right? Like, Beanie Babies, for goodness sakes. And there was never even really a return on it other than money. Like, you couldn't change the world with Beanie Babies, but some blockchain technologies does have the potential and capacity to change parts of the world and change the way things are done to give people a better chance to make things better. All sorts of things, all sorts of realms of our society can be bettered. Bitcoin doesn't solve everything. I know that's the meme, but it does do a lot. Every kid and their single moms had them. Yeah, we had, and Tamagotchis too. Yeah. What was it? Who was the big one? Was it Tabasco the Bull? That was the big one. You got to have Tabasco. Only a couple of those made, I believe. Let's look this up. Tabasco the Bull. Beanie Baby price guide. This was the one, right? Yeah, this was the one that was like super expensive. There's like something about it. Well, this is not where we need to be. I'll show you guys this. Let's go here. Tabasco the Bull. Well, let's look. There's one on eBay. What are they going for? 196 bucks, man. These things were like, weren't they like millions of dollars at one point? Wasn't this absolutely crazy? Let's see. Tabasco the Bull sales price. Prince. Jeez. Can't type today for some reason. How do you find all-time high? ATH. Give me something. It's been wiped out. So is this like part of the Mandela effect? Like there was never an expensive Tabasco the Bull Beanie Baby? Maybe. They've erased that from the space-time continuum, as we like to say. All right, let's move on over to some articles because we got to keep the show rolling. Guys, really quick, before we do that, one, I definitely appreciate you being here. Absolutely. It means the world to me, and you guys know that. Testing a whole new format. So anybody that is tuned in today, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. If you are listening in on the space, if you are watching the stream, yo, let's get it. Make sure that you, let's see, you can like it however, whatever platform you're on. But make sure you let some friends know this is what we got going on. We're talking midday market updates. But before we go any farther to our headlines, I just got a quick word from one of my homies.
Oh, Dad, how about this one?
There it is. Mash that like button. Okay, let's move on over to some headlines here, guys. The first one we're looking at said earlier, Monero likely pumped 50% due to the suspected $330 million Bitcoin theft. And there was some tweets that came out, or X posts that came out from ZachXBT. So we'll take a look at this. On-chain sleuth has flagged a suspicious transfer involving 3,520 Bitcoin. Damn, worth $330 million. That was before any price movements. That was probably at the time of writing this, so I'm sure it's a little bit less now. But let's see. The transaction reported on April 28th, so that is today, saw funds moved from a potential victim wallet to the address where they are now, or wherever they switched over to Monero. Let's see. The large-scale conversion led to a 50% spike in XMR or Monero's price, with token reaching an intraday high of 339. What did it get? Where is it at right now? Let's look. XMR. Monero sitting at 259. 256.97 to be exact. I'll show that up there for you guys so you can see. So it has a rocky day. Man, could you imagine if you hit a short at the 330s to where you are now? You're looking things are looking nice, but it is a very, very choppy day for the Monero coin, kind of back down to earth from where it was. So, all right, back to our stories here. Let's see here. Now, Zach was asked if he thought this was the North Korean hacking group Lazarus. He said, highly probable it's not. He was suggesting independent hackers were responsible for this. Now, Chainalysis noted that most criminal transactions still rely on mainstream crypto. While there are concerns of more criminals moving to privacy coins for anonymity, the vast majority of criminal activity still uses mainstream cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins. All right, here's another quote we've got. Who is this from? This is also from Chainalysis. Crypto is only useful if you can buy and sell goods and services or cash out of fiat, and that is much more difficult with privacy coins, especially as many mainstream exchanges have offboarded the use of privacy coins such as Monero, which, we do understand that. But that stuff could go into, I would assume, I don't know anything about mixers, but I assume that you can send that stuff into there or use some kind of privacy mask or something to swap in and out once you're into Monero. I'm not a Monero guy. I don't see the need. Blockchain is public record. You're not hiding anything from anybody. April 2025, Spar first tapped into the crypto market by introducing Bitcoin. What is this? This is not the same article. Okay. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, you gotta, let's see. You just be safe, I suppose, man. I don't know what the learning lesson is out of this one, other than if you, there you go. Don't lose $330 million worth of Bitcoin. I'm sorry. There's probably better lessons in there. It's early though for you guys. I know if you're watching on the early on the West Coast, man, it's still 8 a.m. there. So appreciate you guys being here. Make sure mash that like button. Also, let me do this here. You can follow over on X. And remember, W3BC Media, the X account has a space open right now. So if you prefer to listen and you can't watch, you can always tap in over there. You can find it. I am in the co-host seat. My name is Jade Chains, as you guys know. But you can follow my account. I'm the co-host seat. So you can find it from either that account or mine, either one. But I appreciate you guys being here, as I have said 1,000 times already. Oh my God, Mr. Dougie Doug, my guy, please go have a wonderful, wonderful day at the beach with you and the missus. We love you guys. Happy belated birthday again, Mel. I hope that you enjoyed our horrible rendition of Happy Birthday and it made you deaf. I appreciate you, Doug. I appreciate the support, man. Appreciate you. Doug has real problems, like it's too early to go to the beach. See you. All right, so back to, we got another article here. Researcher proposes scaling Ethereum gas limit by 100x over 4 years. So this is Dankrad Feist. He pitched a 4-year plan to increase Ethereum's gas limit by 100-fold, which theoretically increased the blockchain's TPS to 2,000. Okay, so it's making ETH a little bit faster. Love to see that. All right, Ethereum mainnet gas limit could theoretically grow 100-fold to reach 2,000 transactions per second under a new Ethereum improvement proposal, or EIP. As we know a lot of the new ones come out as, the EIP 1554, and there was some several others that came after that. Put forward by Ethereum Foundation researcher Dankrad Feist. He had the blockchain's Dank sharding data storage solution named after him, and that was an EIP. He also put forward EIP 9698, and that would introduce a deterministic gas limit growth schedule starting at epoch 369017, or around June 1st. For any of you guys who you don't speak block, you don't speak block or epoch. What's wrong with you?
May the force be with you. May the epoch be with you.
Sorry. The proposal would gradually increase the gas limit by a factor of 10, or roughly 2 years, 164,250 epochs, or when one final tenfold increase would occur. There you go. But here's a quote that he added: by introducing a predictable exponential growth pattern as a client default, this EIP encourages a sustainable and transparent gas limit trajectory aligned with expected advancements in hardware and protocol efficiency. There you go. Hey, anything to make it faster. Ethereum can occasionally reach up to 20 TPS in blocks dominated by simple transactions. If you don't speak crypto, TPS means transactions per second. So 20 transactions per second is kind of like a joke because, I don't know, it's one of the slowest. Bitcoin may be the slowest. It's an interesting. I wonder, who do you guys know? I'm going to put the poll up there on the YouTubes. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to ask my YouTube fam. So if you guys are watching the show, if you are listening, you got to navigate yourself over to the YouTube, because I got to do the same thing myself, and make sure that we have a poll going up here. All right. And so the question is, man, it took me too long to get over there. I'll think about it. Now I got it open. But it had to do with, Ethereum. Oh, this is where I want to ask you guys. Yes, because I said it earlier. Will takeover is what? Will XRP take over ETH in number 2 market cap this year? I think yes. You might not think so. You might think differently, and that's A-okay. I'm all right with that. I don't mind. But I'm going to keep that poll up, see what you guys think. So far, the only other person to have voted, well, no, I'm sorry. There's a lot more votes in there now. But everybody agrees XRP is going to take over ETH as the number 2 market cap this year. Boom. Market, baby. Let's go. We got the absolute, the most amazing people here with us. That's for sure. Doom, what's up, my guy? Blocky. Let's get it. Let's go. Bags of rags. So yeah, basically, so the W3BC radio, so you could still listen in on the space, right? Oh man, I didn't change the space of this. So like that's something I will get better at is so that the space will get a new title as the day goes on. The space will be alive the entire day from 8:45 in the morning until whenever we end the 3 p.m. kind of wind down, end of the day time frame. So it may be a little bit short of 3 p.m. It may be a little bit after, depending on however the conversation or the activity seems to be at that point. So you can find this show, this space live again all day over on W3BC Media over on X. And if you want to participate, I'll be on there as a co-host all day as well. And so you can join, and there'll be times where it's just radio that's playing. And again, we'll have guest DJs. I know Doom wants to do a day. Carrie, hopefully we'll get a chance to get him spinning. If we can get him spinning live, we'll do that. If we got to do some pre-recorded stuff in the interim, we'll figure it out. I am super excited to be able to collaborate with just about anybody that wants to participate. We can have other time frames throughout the day where we add shows, and this account can facilitate, being a part of all of it. And the whole point is to grow this thing and potentially, maybe we run it for more than, 6 hours a day. But for now, that's what I want to commit to is every day, Monday through Friday. And I'm going to find ways to recycle content through the weekend of whatever is maybe the most valuable or whatever the most important is that maybe to our ecosystem. That's the stuff that gets replayed and recycled into the weekend. And so it lives on a little bit more. And obviously there'll be a ton of little young clips that come out of all of this. So, that will be stuff that you guys get to enjoy as well. So we run this show for a little bit longer, and then we'll do some music until we get into some afternoon stuff. And usually the afternoon show is going to start at 1 o'clock. And that is kind of what's going to replace, that is what's going to replace almost the thematic version of what we had at Web3 Breakfast. And so Tuesdays is going to be NF Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we'll talk about Web3 gaming. Like today, probably tokenization, I think, is going to be the big thing, because that's a big thing to me. On Thursdays and Fridays, still kind of deciding how it's all going to look, but Thursdays it's looking like Whitney's going to hop in, and we're going to be talking like crypto 101 specific to like moms, and focus it towards women, because we know we need more ladies in the space. And so that's something that my wife has committed to assist with and be a part of, because she also wants to learn more. And I think we can bring this to, because I've had a lot of people say that they want to get involved, but they kind of are nervous about it, and it's kind of scary and new and all that stuff. So let's make it something that is understandable and geared towards people who are just trying to get in, while they're also trying to probably balance home life with children or with a career or both, whatever. So looking forward to that. That's going to be Thursdays. And then and that will go for a little bit. And then, the last hour, so from like 2 to 3 is just really kind of winding it down. Hopefully we'll get to the point we'll be able to like do giveaways, and we'll have fun. We'll maybe have like, musician spotlights and all that stuff. And so that last hour is really kind of just like a fun wind down of the day. Hopeful, like, my daughter will come into the studio and chat a little bit, and we'll talk. And, like everybody, it's a way to just say, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is where we'll do a lot more of the 1% better stuff, because that is my ethos in life, and that's what I love to live. So, and I think that that's very appropriate, and a lot of people will kind of resonate with it. So Wednesday for women has a good ring to it. It's going to be Thursdays though, because Wednesday is Web3 gaming. Thursdays is usually ladies' night, so it's a special thing. Maybe we'll do a little afternoon, and then what we could always do is run giveaways, and then obviously Thursday night's ladies' night. We'll give away a little crypto on a Thursday afternoon or whatever. So we'll figure that out. More to come on all that. All right, that was a big derailment from our news headlines, but that's okay. It's okay. It's why we're here, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit the heart. Do all the things. Let's get it. King Peasants in the building. Let's go. More hosts. I do like the suggestion Wednesday for women. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we shift it, or maybe we keep Web3 Gaming. I do have a guest for Web3 Gaming this week. I know my guy Gringo is going to be bringing some people from kind of the Yuga ecosystem and the other side stuff. So we're going to have a great conversation. So make sure you guys tune in for that. I will make sure that we get more of the marketing kind of stuff out each day, and you see the schedule so you can pick and choose what you want to be a part of. But for now, let's go. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, there we go. I love that. Once you get the crypto forecast with Blocky Crypto done, you can add them into, it's called the Crypto Weather Report. I love that. I think that would be fantastic. We can just pop over. And now word from Blocky on the Crypto Weather Report. Boom. Train doesn't always have to stay on the tracks to be good. This is very true. Sometimes you can find way more of the authentic feel and the general understanding of something when you do let the mind just go a little bit. And I will tell you, my mind will go. It will be racing most of the time. All right, let's head on over to our next article really quick. Here we go. ProShares to launch leverage short XRP futures ETF on April 30th. 3 new XRP. Let's see. No, we don't want any notifications. 3 new XRP futures ETFs or ETPs from issue of ProShares were set for launch April 30th after the SEC gave its tacit approval. The funds provide leverage and inverse exposure to XRP, but do not hold the asset directly as in a spot ETF. The 3 funds join 2 Chrome 2X long daily ETFs, XRP ETFs, the market's first. So we know that came out a few weeks ago. We did report on that. But this next one, it is not a spot XRP ETF. We know, or ETP. We do know that, but everything that we can get to this point is a good thing. Let's see. Minus 2x leverage you can use. You get the short XRP ETF and an ultra short XRP ETF. There you go. And the ultra XRP. So a wide range of products right there. Let's see. Let's take a look at our vote really quick. Will XRP take over ETH in number 2 market cap this year? We are sitting at 89% saying yes. Okay. We understand. Overwhelming majority says yes. So mark my words, man. XRP is coming for the number 2 spot. It's going to take a while. It would take a very, very long time and a lot of things to maybe go wrong, right? For Bitcoin to even remotely drop out of the number 1 spot. Because you got to think a $1.8 trillion market cap right now alone is well above a 10. I mean, very actually pretty close to Ethereum, but above a 10x for anything. Not Ethereum. Ethereum is a little bit less than that, but for XRP, 132 billion to get up to 1.8 trillion. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for any of these ever to get above Bitcoin, especially if nation states and governments and yada yada yadas are the ones who keep stacking and buying and holding and sitting on forever like they plan to. So fully expect that Bitcoin will be number 1 for a very long time. Not forever though. Not forever. I wonder how long it's going to be. Leverage ETF is dangerous. Put 100 if it goes down 40%. That's 2x. So you have $20 left. Then it doubles. You only go up 2x to 40. So it isn't not that great. No, it's not. It is not. Gonna do an hour of modern metal on the radio. I'll play a little bit of everything. It's totally fine. Like, you don't like, it's not copyright because it just goes on X as an audio, and the channel doesn't make any money on it. It doesn't go onto the live stream. So I recorded in the background so we can take clips from it. So you can do like those little bumper things where you in between songs you say stuff, right? Like I can clip all that stuff out as the video, and then those could be little commercial pieces or little little clips to promote the show and stuff later. So that's totally fine. But for now, yeah, it's just going on an X as a radio, like any other space as they start, or some people do play music for continued time. You just play whatever. Like no one's making any money off of it at all. And so, especially during those parts, it's it's just like the radio part. I won't live stream it because that stuff will get flagged for copyright, and but not as just like audio stuff on X, especially as a space. All right. So yeah, so when Doom does guest DJ it, you just run it as a we just run it as a space. And boom, and then again we'll clip it, and we'll have those things where you can be like, yo, blah 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 blah. Digital asset DJ, and I appreciate you, brother. That's a very nice comment. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's bring it back. I know we're trying to get through these articles. I know we are. Did I do TA on XRP? Juan Hernandez, no, sir, not yet. We are still, believe it or not, just looking at the news articles here. We're on this article about the XRP leverage short XRP futures ETP. It says ETF, but I believe they're all ETPs for now. Exchange traded products. I do like what Henry says there, though. It is dangerous. Like, you don't really stand a whole lot to win. So, all right, let's see here. So that is that, set to launch on April 30th. So maybe it's not as good of a birthday present for you guys as I originally thought. So instead, if it makes you guys feel better, you can just send me crypto instead of me sending you ETFs. That's fine. We'll do that instead. You guys just send me crypto. That'll work. I tried to get you an ETF, but everybody's mad about it now. So smash the like button. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we have one more article, and then we are going to go to some charts. So if you are in the chat and you want to see some specific coins, put them in there. And if I see it, I will check that out. They can be anything. They can be large caps. They can be your favorites. They can be small caps. I can hit over to Dex Screener if I need to, or Dex Tools, whatever it is. Drop it in there. Don't drop a contract address. It'll just get flagged out. But you can drop the token ticker. That is A-OK with me, fam. Pith chart, you son of a gun, Morehart. As you guys know, I'm going to be cutting it out. But I will look at the pith chart. It probably looks like the same thing that you get rewarded in the VBetter DAO ecosystem when you take your dog for a walk and you pick it up, you get rewarded. It's that same thing. That's what pith is right now. Dog shit. All right. In our tokenized news, Deloitte predicts $4 trillion tokenized real estate on the blockchain by 2035. There we go. So our metric moving a little bit. Like I said, 2030 was the original one that we were seeing across the board in reports and all that kind of stuff. And then XRP put theirs out for 2033, and now we're seeing 2035. So, but this is real estate specific. Let's see here. The investment is blockchain adoption grows, reshaping property. We know that. Over $4 trillion worth of real estate could be tokenized on blockchain networks during the next decade, potentially offering investors greater access to property ownership opportunities. And this is according to a new report. The Deloitte Center for Financial Services predicts that over the $4 trillion, again, it's actually up from less than $300 billion in 2024. The report published April 24th estimates a compound annual growth rate, or the CAGR, of more than 27%. Here's a nice little chart here. Global tokenized real estate value is expected to hit 4 trillion USD by 2035. So we are going to see this explode. It doesn't really show a lot of growth. Here, let me move this up here for you guys can see a little bit better. It doesn't really show a whole lot of growth over the next couple years, which is a little interesting to me because I feel like we're going to start to see this thing move a little bit more vertical, in my opinion. We're not going to wait until, all of this happens. And I just feel like we're going to add it on a little bit sooner and maybe level off, right? That's kind of how I see it looking, is we know where this thing's moving to. And so probably over the next 5 years, my opinion, over the next 5 years, we might see more of that shift in growth, and then it'll continue to grow up and level off from there. But I think we're going to see a higher beginning for these first couple years than what we're seeing. Could be wrong, but could be wrong. I mean, there's already several projects that do that stuff in King Present, Proppy. They are a big one there. I would say that we did this once before, and maybe we'll do this again. We'll probably do this again. Actually, we're going to do this today at 1 p.m. Eastern for our tokenization show. Is that we are going to take CoinMarketCap, and we're going to be more serious about this stuff, and we're going to write this shit down, and we'll reference this next week. But we're going to go through, we'll hit the RWA sector as a specific, and we're going to go through these coins, and we're going to look for opportunities, not shrimping. We're not going to look for shrimp opportunities, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at a combination of some high caps and low caps, and let's maybe put together this afternoon, we'll put together a 10 token portfolio. We'll find a number that we want to use, like 10K or something, and we'll put together, and obviously you can use that as the metric and scale to whatever size you want if this is something you want to do. But we will create an RWA specific portfolio today, based on, again, some metrics of higher caps. So, we're going to want to probably look at AVAX. We're going to look at Chainlink. We're going to look at ONDO. We've got some $1 billion market cap projects, but then we're going to look down in the lower numbers and see what we can find down there. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's what we'll do today on the show when we get to a little bit later. So that's going to be at 1 p.m. So we'll take a little break in a little bit here, play some more music. What do you guys think? You like the lo-fi? Drop it in the chat. What you think? So we did lo-fi this morning, or no, I'm sorry. We did house this morning before the Web3 breakfast show, and then reggae after the Web3 breakfast show. I'll just put it on, the playlist, and then, basically, like I said, all time. You can either do like trending all time, what does it say? So it's all time this month or this week in the trending. And so, we can pick some other topics. So we did electronic, rock, metal, alternative, hip hop, rap. Maybe we'll do, let's do rock. We'll do rock today. After this show, we'll do some rock music for W3BC Radio X until we get to the tokenization show. So as the week turns out, Monday is tokenization. Tuesday is NF Tuesday. So NFTs, my guy, Kerry, I'm going to chat with him today and see exactly what we got scheduled for tomorrow. And then we'll put some stuff out. And then Wednesday, plan is to go Web3 gaming. I do like Women Web Wednesday, or Wednesdays for women, or whatever we said. But I think we're going to keep it gaming and then keep ladies for Thursday. And then we'll have to figure Friday. I mean, a pizza party weekend review kind of a thing. But that's kind of what the morning show would be about, unless we talk about headlines and news. So we'll figure this out. By the time we get to Friday, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So, all right, back to our article here. Real estate itself. Here's a quote from Chris Yen. He's the co-founder of Plume Network. Definitely an investor in Plume, guys. Make sure you get some Plume in your portfolio. Real estate itself is undergoing transformation. Post-pandemic work from home trends, climate risk, and digitization have reshaped property fundamentals. Office buildings are being repurposed into AIs, data centers, logistics hubs, and energy efficient residential communities. Investors want targeted access to these modern use cases, and tokenization enables programmable, customizable exposure to such evolving asset profiles. Tell you what, tokenization is the biggest thing, and you know that I'm a big believer in tokenization, but I also want to stress that making a pizza beginning to end would be a great stream. Just a thought. Oh man, we should do that Friday. We should definitely do that. I love that. But so if you caught the chat and the talk that I did last week, the Blockchain Center here in Atlanta, about kind of, what VeChain specifically was VeChain, but really, the whole ecosystem and sustainability initiative that they're working on with the VBetter DAO and the B3TR token. Like, I'm telling you, like, this morning, here we go. I was sitting here yesterday. It was so funny. I had said, something to the effect of, like, what's your plan, all this kind of stuff. And Mugshot had responded that, they were going to be, taking pictures of their coffee and that kind of stuff. And again and again, and that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that reminds me. Perfect. I'm going to do that. So boom, did that. Earned my, my tokens. Just sitting here this morning, boom, I got my sustainable mug here. I use this. Or a coffee mug. I recently told you guys I snapped my handle off my coffee mug. My mom sent me a new one. It says money can't buy happiness, but it can buy pizza. It was essentially the same thing. So that makes a whole lot of sense. So I used that yesterday. So I used my sustainable one this morning and did the picture, earned the tokens. Let's go. And you can probably do this a couple times a day is what I just am realizing. I thought you can only do it once a day, but I feel like you can use this a couple times a day because you get up to 3. And usually you get like a little bit less than 1 or a little bit over 1, for each one. And so I think that you get 3 times a day. So I do drink coffee at least 3 occasions a day. So I should be doing this more. And again, you can do all sorts of rewards and initiative things in this ecosystem, like picking up your dog shit. You can get rewarded for that using, I believe, a sustainable bag, which most places I think you have to at this point. Right? Like when I lived in Austin, they didn't give you plastic bags anymore. You had to bring your reusable, or you could get a paper one, but you usually had to pay like $0.25 for a paper one. And it's not a cheap grocery store either. That was like HEB, but you could still get a plastic one. They would charge you for that. They're plastic HEB bags. They probably had like a lifetime supply made of them. Anywho. And I think the rest of Texas probably told Austin to like go fuck themselves with your plastic bag theory. I would just say. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a pizza stream on Friday. I like that. We did do, speaking of pizza, we did do the pizza party last Friday night here locally in Smyrna, Georgia. We did it at Ruby's Sourdough Pizza. And I'll tell you what, man, it was a great time. We had a great event, a great turnout. We had people show up from out of state to come hang out. And I appreciate Bobcat and Chris, and I appreciate you guys doing your thing. And Cheese, and just thank you. Thank you for showing up. And then also, what else? We did that. The ABC stuff is going well. There was 2 things. One, we're doing the planning. I'll probably be down there again later this week. Guys, remember, and I'm going to remind you, I'm going to harp on this. If you're in the area, make sure you come to the ABC on May 22nd. We got just a few weeks away from that, but that is going to be the Bitcoin Day Pizza Party with Pizza DAO. There's going to be some cool stuff that we're doing there, but I'll be down there again this week to do some planning, getting ready for that. If you're not in the area, check with the Pizza DAO and figure out where the closest location is. I assume if you live near any kind of crypto activity, there is going to be someone hosting a Pizza DAO party for you, at least within an hour, right? Especially if you're here in the States. But it is global. It is across the world. So check it out. It'll be fun. All right. I know. All right. So we were talking about tokenization. That is going to absolutely move the needle for this whole thing. Now, did you guys put any? So Pith chart, ICP, we'll definitely look at XRP. Let's move on over to the charts here. Really quick, guys, make sure that you do smash that like button. It's, something you got to do. Do the things that you got to do. All right. Share this one and boom, here it is. Here is the Bitcoin chart. But let's start up above here. What else do we got? This is the futures. We don't really need this. We did start a little gap a few weeks ago to the downside, and it happens to be right where the year-to-date VWAP is. That's interesting. And the SMA is down there too. So potentially we could see ourselves closing this little gap ski up. This is the daily. I was feeling more bullish earlier this morning than I am now, though. That's for sure. All right. Bitcoin 93,691. I feel like we're going to chase down today. That's where all of our VWAPs are. And this is just, this is the daily. This is a theory. There's a lot of different indicators, a lot of different strategies. This is just a quick one for us to look at. But I do think that these things act as magnets. Now, the one saving grace that we do have is if we put this on, say, a different time frame, here's where we are. And, we had some conversations this morning about, looking at crypto and looking for a dip and potentially, setting our targets down low. And I kind of feel like, and I respect everybody that plays this game and trades and does their thing and is public about what they're doing and all that stuff. But I would just say, like, why are we hoping at this point for it to go back down so that we can get that opportunity to load up? Like, fuck, man, you should have already done that. It's 93,660. Like, we were, just down here. We were just down here. Like, why can't we just let these pumps happen? Like, don't wish for it to go back down. And I know that we all want better entries and we shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but at some point, like, we got to say, like, damn, I missed it. I missed the dip. Like, I didn't get it down here at 92.9. I should have, but I didn't. Well, this is the 48-minute chart. Let's do the daily chart. All right, here's what I'm saying. Like, right here. This was back in the beginning of April 9th, right? We saw this thing drop down here to like 76,135. Damn, man, if you didn't get in then, if you didn't get your trade in then, why are you wishing for it to dump now and get in a trade? It already broke the structure. It already broke out. Like, why do you want it to go back down and have to refight to get the fuck back up? You missed it. And I feel that way. Like, I say that shit, like, and I'm not like harping on anybody like that brought that up this morning, because I say it to myself because I wanted to do this, right? I wanted to be in that ONDO long that was like of all epic proportions. But look, 70 cents. Wednesday, April 9th. It did it. It did that. It wicked down. It should have been where we all got in. 67 cents, 68 cents, 69 cents. You ride that sucker through the bull run. You know what I mean? So we can't wish for prices to go back down, because then again, we break structure, and we don't want that. We want momentum to carry us up. And I know everybody's indicators tell them things, and different strokes for different folks based on what you're looking at. But I think that we need to pragmatically, approach this as in, all right, like, it's time for, crypto to start making its ascent up. And if we're thinking that Q3 or the second half of this year is going to be, explosive for us, like, I don't think we need to go down anymore. What we need to do is either consolidate or start making the move up. And so that gives us, April's over. That gives us May and June. That gives us 60 days, right? July is the second half of the year. July is the beginning of Q3. Like, that's like, if that's when it's supposed to go, that's when it's supposed to go. And it's not just going to go like up July 1st, boom. I think we'll probably start to see the rounded bottoms pay bills theory. Here, let's turn this leapfrog off for a second so we can see, and let's scrunch this up just a little bit differently, because some of these charts tell different stories than others do. You know what I mean? Like, here, let's look if we can get ourselves back. This is about a year. So the ONDO chart's about a year, right? A little bit longer than a year. And you can see, you know, if we were to, that did not really do what I wanted it to, but okay. So we could probably pull it like that, right? And I think if we were to say, like, on a trajectory wise, you know, I feel like, and let's pull this thing to where does the second half of the year start? Here's June, July. Okay, so now let's zoom this thing and look at it like, okay, what if we are going to kind of keep following this? By the time we get to, you know, this time frame, where potentially price wise could we be, right? And that at 273, I think that that's great. However, there have been some really big moves, and I know going into this run, we talk about our bull run of all bull runs, like, you know, potentially we're going to see even sharper than that. But, you know, based on these two tops that have hit here, and this was back in June of 2024. This one was obviously in our December run up where we hit a new all-time high. But for us to kind of go at this same scale, at this same line here by the end of the year, you know, about 270, I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, I would like to see this thing a lot more. I kind of feel like we're going to be above $5 by the end of the year. I'm sorry, I guess this is only by the end of the quarter. And so if we were to actually project this thing out to the end of the year, let's do another line at the end of the year over here. So, but again, to be fair, I'm not convinced that this year is where it ends for us. You know what I mean? Let's see. So that would put us over a little over $3. If we were to use this as our trend, that would put us a little over $3, about 320 or so by the end of the year. But I fully expect, again, that's if we just go at this pace, which we are just now learning that ONDO, and on this specific case, right, that ONDO is working with the SEC to bring tokenization of U.S. securities on chain. That's massive, right? Like that. And I get charts and I get people who look at charts and understand it, but that has a potential to outpace this chart from what we've seen. And we've seen structure get broken all the time. And so this upward momentum has the strong potential of getting absolutely destroyed in a much positive way to the upside, right? With what they're doing with RWAs and tokenization. And that's why I'm really excited. So later today, we are going to be doing an entire show about RWA projects. So we'll look at some more charts on that. So I probably spent too much time on ONDO, but you guys know how I feel about it. All right, what do we got here? I know that we wanted to see the pith chart. Let's bring that up. I think I might have. There it is. I moved it down just a little bit. This is one of those charts that, you know, you got to think. What do? You hold pith. You hold this coin. Me, I don't hold much of it anymore. I've got, at this point, what we've got in our shrimping portfolio, which is 833 pith. That cost us $100 on April 7th. It's now $127, whereas fetch is $181. So we got a much better ROI on that. But so this whole idea of, you know, what are we going to do with pith? But you would think at this point that is the bottom. And let's zoom in here, because we were talking about this a few weeks ago. Like, could you imagine if you did catch this, if you caught this wick, and we had this sucker circled, right? So you caught this thing, and right now you're up 43%. That's like what I was talking about this morning. Like you put in a leverage, and look, it did come down to your point. Actually, no, that was part of that box. So it didn't come down to the entry point. And so at some point, like all the trades that I've put in have all come back down to the point of where I put the trade in. And so, that's why you get that trigger PTSD of, and I was talking about this morning where, I woke up this morning. So I had last night, I was looking at some VWAP structures and where the ONDO price was and what it had to do today to get back to, the previous daily, which is, something I had been doing, and some of the other metrics and lines. Here, I'll pull it up and I'll turn it back on so you can see exactly what I was talking about. And so this is also why you're going to want to make sure in the link of the description in my bio on X is my Phemex link. You want to click that, join our trade team. It'll also give you access to private calls and signals and stuff, Telegram channel that we got, working with some pro calls and stuff with Phemex. And this is amazing that they've set me up with this. So, but you got to be like in the group of traders to have access to it. But even they were making ONDO calls in that, overnight and all that shit. And so, but what I was saying was, all right, I probably got to zoom the time frame out a little bit on this because it's on the daily. So let's go 48 minute, scrunch it up. Okay. So this had happened, right? And in between this and this morning, yesterday I was watching when the new daily started, at 8 p.m. right here. It was way, way, way far away from the previous daily. And in my observation, which you can see on this chart, what I'm talking about, why this indicator is so important. But so look, this thing dipped down here. And then I put in order that, if it were to hit and it was a little bit low, I would have to figure out, let's see, well, for the sake of not taking too long. But so I had put in order down here, and I had put in a larger order than normally what I would for like the margin. And I had scaled my leverage way back. So I only used 5X on it. And so overnight, what had happened was it had dipped down low enough. It had filled my order. And then look at this. It came back up and touched the previous day. And it came up so high that it brought the daily up with it to be back over by the previous day. And then look what happened. Look, this is what I'm saying. Like, it came down here. It came up to touch the previous day. And then also it touched the previous quarter two. This 98, this was a different line. I could remove that. That was a line I was using this weekend, getting some trades in. That was absolutely crushing some trade this weekend. But so you could see like what it did was that it came up and it came up and then back down. And so this thing acts like one of those. And if you want to put in shorts, if you want to, like, when you see this thing get back way above the daily in the previous day, it's going to come back down to earth. It's going to come back down and touch those. And so you can all day long just play the waves. And that's what I've seen. Not every single day does it work. There are some days where I've seen it blast through and it won't come back down to touch the daily in the previous daily until like the next day when it's made a new daily, but it brings that down to touch the previous daily. It's I call this thing a magnet. It's a magnet. It's a magnet. So if you got any questions, you can definitely go onto my YouTube channel and you can watch a video that I did with Flopping Groper when he showed me about this. And then if you're more interested, make sure that you tap in with him and with his community and what they got going on. So he's a super cool freaking dude. I'll tell you what, I like Flopping Groper. All right. So we're going to look at ICP. Definitely. All right, we'll have to pull that one up. Let's go. ICP USDT. Here it is. And we'll look at spot over on my favorite exchange, Phemex. As you guys know, join the trade squad over there. Come on. We just finished the Easter competition. I did get an email that I had won something, so I got to check that out. And then, let's go. Come join the trade squad. And we're going to be doing some more giveaways. There'll be more competitions, all that kind of stuff. So come on, do the things. All right, let's go here. Oh, look at that. It came back down. Where is it sitting? And look what it did before this month to date VWAP. And so ICP hanging low, didn't really stand a chance today. Had to come back down to earth, was sitting way too far away from, I don't know why the monthly I guess we are at the end of the month. Okay. So It wanted to come back down and get a reality check here. So that's what ICP did. And maybe that's what a lot of these projects are doing. Where's Solana at in its journey to find its monthly? Okay, so way down to 125. Hopefully that doesn't happen over the next 2 days. That would be annoying. What about Jasmy? Jasmy can't be too off of its monthly because it's just been a... Oh, all right. You still see a little bit of a drop. It's this white line right there. That'll be the monthly. And then you got the previous month to date, not too far up from it. Sweet. 354. I would suggest that, okay, so we can talk about this. And this is what I think is going to happen with Sweet. You see that it's dropped now between it had gone below the daily and then below the previous daily. So if I were a betting man, this thing is going to come and touch the SMA, and this is going to still move up a little bit because that's what it does, is a simple moving average. And so I would say about 347, 346. This is what, a 48-minute candle. So probably by the time we get here. So that's where I think this is going, is that this is going to catch up with the SMA and we'll get a bounce from there. If we get a bounce today from the market, that's where SWE is going to bounce off of its SMA. I don't see this thing going down to the previous week to date. It could do this later in the week. And again, this yesterday or last week was my first real week watching the weekly on this, right? And so now this shifts over to our new week. So now I got to see how is this going to act today with the previous week to date. So that's something that I'm looking at today, actually, is, how do these things react to the previous? All right. So you got VeChain. Let's see what VeChain's up to. Like VeChain is making a move to its previous week to date. Like that would make sense, right? So you could probably catch that thing. If you wanted to go long on VeChain, I would set yourself an alarm. So, these things will move, right? So set it like a little bit above, right? And there you go. And then boom, what I would do is say, set an alarm, VeChain, say, look at the chart. Are we going long? Because I'm not setting an alarm to put in a trade. I'm setting an alarm to bring me back to this chart so I can make a decision. Is this something that I actually want to do? Right? Because we want to do this work one time, but we don't want to, I got to look at 20 other charts. I can't just be staring at the VeChain chart like I do with the ONDO chart. I stare at the ONDO chart all day long because that's what I trade the most of, right? That's what I trade the most of. I feel like I've gotten that chart figured out a little bit better. But what the idea is, say I do want to get into a VeChain trade, or say I do want to get into a position somewhere else, I will take a look at this, especially because I'm going long on this. So it's a leverage trade, but I do want to see this thing make a nice drop down. Now, maybe I get to the point where, okay, my thesis is good, but it's a sharp drop and it becomes a wick and then it moves up so fast, so I don't get the opportunity to get the trade in. Then I will start setting my line a little bit longer so I get the alert a little bit earlier, so then I can watch it to make sure that this is the right idea, and that, this thesis of, hey, we're coming down to this line to touch here, but then we're coming back up to the daily. That is something that I would do. So if I were going to be trading VeChain today, what I would do is I set my alarm for this level at a little bit over 2.5 cents, right? And then once it does touch there, I get an alarm, I get an alert, then I look back at the chart, like, okay, are we still dropping or are we changing direction here? Are we going to head back to the daily? And then from there, we either put it along or we pass. Easy, guys. And I know it's a little bit harder than that, but yo, what's up, fam? Mr. Mayo in the house. He is not only on X, but he is on YouTube as well, double dipping. Let me get those views, baby. Bow, bow, bow. Shout out to you guys for being here. Make sure you smash that like button. Smash that like button for yourself. I get it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the like button for me. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, baby. I do appreciate that, but it's also for you guys, because look, you could be doing anything. You could be doing anything in the world, but you are here hanging out. We're learning charts. We're looking news, all that kind of stuff. And so I appreciate you. I certainly do. This has been a fun show. This is again, like the midday market update. This replaces what I was going live at 4 p.m. And so now some other people that we know that you guys are a part of, that some of my mods are a part of, you guys can, you can mod the other channels without a conflict. And that means a lot to me that you guys are able to spread yourself out and work with other creators, because then that helps me because I got collabs out of it. So it means the world to me that everybody is playing a part of this ecosystem. I appreciate you guys. This is, I am Jay Chains, and this is W3BC Media. So that's the new company I'm starting, and we're launching like a radio style show. So thank you. All right. So I believe that wraps it up for now. We're going to play some music for a little bit. We have got some, let's see, what did you guys say? Dude, if you play reggae again, play some Lucky Dub and Toots and the Maydos. Oh man, I love that. But I am using Audius. So I'm just using Audius. And as you guys know, that is a Web3 friendly platform. And so these artists are definitely amazing. How this whole thing works, and some of the songs, not my cup of tea, but we'll be setting up our playlist. And then also, again, I would love more collaboration. So if you're an artist, if you are a musician, if you are a DJ, and you want to lend some tunes to the community so that they can check out your stuff, get in touch with me in the background, and then we can make sure that you guys are good to go. And then from there, I don't know. We'll get slots, we'll get shows, we'll get all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to get super rich. Yeah, fuck rich. Let's get wealthy, baby. Let's go. Clap the like button, cheeks. Oh, Henry, you're funny. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back later today. We're going to listen to some music for a little bit. But so for now, have yourself a good rest of your day. Remember, 1% better. Do whatever you can to improve it. Now, today is Monday. So what's good about Mondays, if you don't do this on Sunday, if you wait until Monday, that's A-okay. But set your goals for the week. But make sure that when you set your goals for the week, that you put a system in place to meet those goals. For example, if you want to lose 5 pounds, how are you going to lose 5 pounds? Put that plan in place to lose those 5 pounds. So, all right, that's all we got. Adios.